Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me again this week with Quality Time with the Queen. This week, like we did last week, it's a countdown. Last week we did the countdown for all the main roster, SmackDown and Raw champions. This week we're doing NXT. So, with that being said, don't forget, TakeOver is this Sunday. Go watch it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you like, who you didn't like, so forth, so on. I want to go ahead and give credit to my loving husband, Steve. He is the cameraman, as well as a bunch of other things he does behind the scenes that you just don't know. And with there only being 5, this is going to be one video. I'm sorry, guys. No 2-parters. Maybe next time. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, my number 5. As you can clearly see, it's over here. It is my least favorite. I'm going to have to say Santos Escobar. I'm not a fan. I don't really think I've been a fan of his. The only cool thing about him is his theme. I feel like his gimmick is technically a knockoff of Jinder Mahal when he had his Bollywood boys. And to me, in my opinion, the real champion is Jordan Devlin. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You got anything you want to say, Steve?
The only credit that I think you can give to Santos in terms of his ability is, he won the Cruiserweight Championship by winning a tournament. Now, obviously, there is a lot of controversy of things going on behind the scenes, and ultimately he being the one that pulled the strings the entire time. But, the Cruiserweight division is having to find a spot somewhere, and he's kind of the person holding the title that's really kind of left out at the moment. It's not to say that he doesn't have all the capabilities and the capacity to be a good champion, but, we still at some point, like you mentioned, have to answer the controversy of who is the true Cruiserweight champion, because you still have Jordan Devlin holding the title over in the UK. The Escobar is technically defined as the interim Cruiserweight champion, so at some point we're going to have to settle that score.
Yeah, but until then, we're going to go ahead and roll into my number 4, which would be Damien Preist, the infamous Archer. I have had a chance to actually get to do a Zoom meeting with him thanks to a Mania Club. And if you don't know who Mania Club is, I will explain more after the video. But he is a very, very, very good person to talk to. You can tell he's very humble. There was a lot of things that just drew me to him. And I'm not going to even sit here and not say it. I believe he's really cute. The title that he is holding, he is worthy of holding the title. He is a fighting champion. He defends. And he's a badass doing it. What is there not to say? Plus all his hair. I just want to comb all his hair. So, with that being said, and that was my husband in the background. He's like eye rolling.
Just jealous because I don't have that hair.
Yeah. So, my number 4 would be Mr. Preist.
Damien Preist has all of the looks and all of the capabilities of being a multiple-time world champion as he gets, older in his time. It was a joy to be able to talk to him in that Zoom meeting. Because he really shows his more humble side in being a person who, was a fan of wrestling just like we were.
Yeah.
And, he grew up on it and at some point hit the realization of saying, this is what I want to do. And for him to be able to be given the reward of being trusted as one of the, brand's champions is no small task in of itself.
So, with that being said, yes, that's probably like the second or third time I've said it. We're going to roll into my number 3. This is one of my favorite tag teams. I'm glad they won. I feel like they've been deserving. They've been here in WWE, if I heard correctly, for 7 years. We all know them as Breezango. It's Tyler Breeze and Fandango. And for anybody that don't know, they have been the Fashion Police, which has probably been one of my favorite segments. They just because they look like pushovers, they're really not. I had a chance to actually get to meet Tyler Breeze. I loved him. He was very down to earth, very humble. And at the time that I met him, he had all that pretty long hair, which he no longer has, but it's okay. To me, I think Breezango, and I think I've mentioned it in a previous episode, I don't remember if it was Top Rope Spoilers, on the ring apron, I feel like Breezango is like, technically the New Day or the Street Profits for NXT. They do bring humor, they do make it funny, they do keep it light, but don't mistake them as pushovers because they really aren't. And again, they're fighters, they're fighting champions, and I want to see how long they hold these tag titles. So, number 3 is Breezango.
Considering these two both had an opportunity to really make it work on the main roster, remembering Fandango's very first match on the main roster was a match at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho, a match he ended up winning.
Yeah.
But, really ever since that, Fandango really never had a real successful push on the main roster as he went from, an overnight sensation to very quickly a 15 minutes of fame. Tyler Breeze was one of the biggest names that came through NXT. He never did win the title. But once he got to the main roster, they really didn't know what to do with him. And the two of these guys made it work for a mid-card at best segment on the main roster. But they both took the chance of going back to NXT. They both took that opportunity to say, we want a chance to get over with a crowd that we're familiar with, and they've been rewarded for all of the years that they've put in, because for both of these two, this is their first title of any kind with WWE or NXT.
Yeah. And they both have really good themes and really good intros, but the fact that you can combine the two and make it work, congratulations to them. Congratulations, guys. So, rolling into my number 2, I can tell you for a fact, not only do I love her, but my husband will not say it. He loves her too. It is Genius of the Sky. Not Genie, because for the longest time, Steve did not correct me, and he sat there and laughed at me every time I said it incorrectly.
She does not pop out of a lamp or a bottle.
It's Genius of the Sky. It's my girl, Io. What can you say? She went from being what we saw of her when she first got to NXT as a face, and then she came back. She left. I think must have got injured, if I'm correct, right? And then she came back as this mysterious, just dark spirit, just champ. Well, I consider her to be a champ, and she's just, I don't even know what to say besides I love her. I think she's great. I want her to continue to hold the women's title for NXT. I wish her the best of luck, and I just want to see where the storyline goes, who she competes against, how she wins her match this Sunday, and I would love to meet her in person. So yeah, my number 2 would be Io Shirai, and plus her theme is so cool. How do you not love it?
She's had 2 successful themes, one behind the other. We really got an opportunity to be introduced to Io Shirai in the Mae Young Classic the second time around, where she got all the way to the finals before falling to the eventual winner, Toni Storm. So, Io has definitely had, women's champion written all over her since she got here, but for the longest time she got lost in the shuffle.
Which is a shame.
Which isn't, necessarily a bad thing, but, when your idea of WrestleMania was promoting Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair to build up that NXT brand again, it was very, humbling, but at the same time also great praise that it would be Io Shirai that would be taking the title from Charlotte Flair in, a very convincing way, and then has successfully held that championship against several competitors since.
Oh my God, when she flew off the top of the house for In Your House, I just mind blown. That was awesome. That's the thing that I remember from that pay-per-view.
Mine was her jumping off the War Games cage when we went this last year to...
It was crazy. I can see why they call her Genius of the Sky. So... But we're going to roll into my number 1. I could not say enough about this guy. I love this guy. I am his biggest fan.
The shirt totally doesn't give it away.
Or so I say, and I was ecstatic to see him win. Nothing against Adam Cole, because Adam Cole is a great competitor, a great fighter, but nobody has nothing on my baby Finn, the Prince, or the Demon, or if you're part of the Balor Club and you're a Balor babe, it is Finn. And you do not understand how many shirts I have. My husband has gotten me, I'd say 12 shirts just for this one guy. Had a chance to meet him in person twice with my husband, which was, it was weird because we share seeing some people together and some people separately, and I just assumed I was going to get to see him by myself. No, I didn't. And because we love him so much, we end up giving our youngest his part of his name is Balor, and I know some people would see that negatively, but we thought it was cool that we put it in there somewhere. But he's a very humbled person, very down to earth. We've seen him twice. He remembered us both times. I don't know what else to say besides congratulations, Finn, to you getting married, and you're about to have your own little prince. So also for getting that NXT title and wearing it so well. So, yeah, my baby Finn. is number one.
I'm not sure there's a person that has appeared in NXT that represents the championship more than Finn Balor does.
Exactly.
The reality is Finn Balor was brought back to NXT for the moment that he would be the NXT champion again. I think that if you sit here and picture who is the representation of NXT in a single person, it is Finn Balor. But he has been a successful competitor no matter what brand he's been on, in WWE or with other companies. He has been a winner, a veteran, and an absolute all-around good person everywhere he's been. You don't hear anybody having anything negative to say about Finn Balor. His memory is insane because, as you did mention, he saw us, twice at successive WrestleMania accesses, and he remembered exactly who we were, and was very much touched and honored that we gave our youngest son his middle name.
I remember, and you were obviously with me, I remember, the first time we had a problem with naming our first one, and we finally came to a good one, and I said, we've been watching wrestling together for a long time, since 2005, when our first son was born, and I said, you know what, we had a name picked out, and I think we ended up changing it, and we ended up naming him Cassius, after Cassius Ohno, because he was another one of our favorite wrestlers. And we're just sitting here standing in line, we're talking. I'm talking to some girl who's like, well, if you're going to have a kid, why don't you name him, name him Finn Balor or name him Balor or something. And I looked at my husband and I said, that's not a bad idea. So we're sitting here talking about it, and we're talking about it. It's like, now we've got to go home, we've got to talk to Landon, which is our oldest, and see what he thinks about it. And of course we got home, we explained it to him, he loved it, and boom, there's the name. So to both wrestlers, thank you, and to Finn, you are awesome. I love you. That's why you're on my number one. But I'm going to end this show with saying, please take the time to watch TakeOver. We do Top Rope spoilers where you will get our picks and our predictions. So be on the lookout for that this Saturday. I don't know when it's going to be posted, but we'll post, as we go along. Just because the month of September has ended, as you can clearly see, I still have my Connor's Cure cape up there. Take the time to donate. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's a lot. It's for a good cause. Also, taking the time to donate, I want y'all to take the time to donate to Give Kids the World, since they go hand in hand with one another. Again, a little bit goes a long way, so please take the time to donate. And with that being said, I will see y'all next week with Quality Time with the Queen. Bye, you guys. Love you.